All right. Call this meeting to order of the Lenoir City Council for Tuesday, August the 4th, 2020. We welcome you here with us, those that are here with us, council members that are with us, and those that will be probably coming in later outside. And with those that are on the Zoom with us this evening, we welcome everyone here. In a few minutes, we will, and as a matter of fact, I think I'll go ahead before we do our moment of silence and our pledge and go ahead and let's call our roll while we're here and get started with that. So if you will, please, I'll start with our council members here. Council member Ben Willis is here. Council member David Stevens, myself, Council member Ike Perkins, Council member John Beal are here. Council member Ralph Presswood, are you on? Okay, Council member Mayor Pro Tem Chrissy Thomas. Okay, and Council member Todd Perdue.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you. Okay, then I'll call the remainder. Our City Attorney, TJ Rohr.
I'm here, thank you.
Yes, sir. City Manager Scott Hildebrand.
Present.
Communications Director Joshua Harris.
Present.
Economic Development Main Street Director Kaylin Horn.
Here.
Finance Director Donna Bing.
Present.
Thank you. Our Fire Chief Ken Hare.
He is outside.
He is here and outside. Thank you. Parks and Recreation Director Kenny Story.
I see him. He's there.
Okay, Kenny's here. Thank you. Planning Director Jenny Wheelock.
I'm here.
Thank you. Our Police Chief Brent Phelps is here also. He's outside in the lobby. Our Public Utilities Director Radford Thomas.
Here.
Thank you. And our Public Works Director Jared Wright.
He's outside.
He's outside as well. Thank you. Okay. And Shirley Cannon, our City Clerk. Yes. Shirley's with us. Thank you on that. And the news topic, I'm not sure that Garrett is with us. Garrett, are you on?
I think he's called in,
Yeah, I think he's
Called in. Okay. Thank you very much. All right, then. Well, we will go ahead and as we get started this evening, I'd like for you to continue your prayers for our community and everything that is going on. We still have a lot of COVID-19 situations going on in our community. A lot of things are happening. Several of our leaders across the community reached out to me this week and wanted to be able to do anything they could to help. And I said the best thing we can try to do right now is continue getting out information to your people and your plants and your work places and across that as we get ready for school to start back in a few weeks, to continue to wear your mask, to stay 6 feet apart. Please continue to wash your hands and do everything you can to stay safe. That's the main thing that we can tell everyone right now, and we will reach out into our community all across not only Lenoir but Caldwell County and ask those to continue to do so. Please stay safe as you can, and please be respectful of everyone around you. Wearing a mask is not only for your own safety, but it's also for the safety of those that you would come in contact with. So please continue to do that. Let's do everything we can to work together to make our community as safe as we can, and we will continue to reach out in every way we possibly can to do those kind of things. So please keep that in your thoughts and prayers, and help also pray for our leaders across our nation and our state and others. We pray for the communities that are going through, had the hurricane situation, the tropical storm pass through down on our coast. We want to keep those people in our thoughts and prayers as well, as they're struggling with other things, and now they have this on top of that. So all those things please keep in mind as we go now to our moment of silence and remain standing for our pledge. Thank you. We salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Our first order of business tonight is some special recognition, and we will ask the American Legion Post 29 members. I know hope we have Wayne Mihelich, our commander from American Legion Post 29, and others tonight. They will honor and recognize our Firefighter of the Year and our Police Officer of the Year. So as they are getting ready to enter our room, we will get ready for that, and we thank them for coming and being a part of that with us this evening.
It's been a year already. I feel like we just did this.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
You can't recognize me behind the mask, but I'm Roberto. I'm a member of Post 29.
Yes, sir.
And I'm the historian. And with me today is our post commander, Wayne Mihelich. Carrying the goods.
Get up on the microphone here. So
Get up on the microphone. Oh, we're recording this, aren't we? Okay. I should sing. All right. Wayne Mihelich, our post commander, who's going to make the presentation to the fire chief, and the fire chief is going to make the presentation to Lieutenant Greer.
Thank you.
So
glad to have you gentlemen this evening. Thank you for your recognition of our firefighter and our police officer of the year, and for what you guys do every day. We do appreciate it very much.
thank you.
Enjoy working with you.
It's our pleasure to be here, to be able to recognize someone in our community who is willing to stand up for everybody that's here and do what they need to do to protect us. And it's interesting, in talking to the lieutenant earlier, he's also a Marine. And what I see a lot of times is people who have spent time in the military get out. There's nothing wrong with getting out after 4 years and going on to do something else or doing a career, but they always step forward and get involved in their communities. And what better to do than to continue in supporting with the fire department here. And it's a pleasure to provide this to Lieutenant James S. Greer. He is the 2020 City of Lenoir American Legion Post 29 Firefighter of the Year. Thank you very much for what you do and continuing on, and just keep on doing what you need to do to support our community. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Up here.
Okay.
you want to make some
Just right,
comments?
yeah, right about there, back up a little bit.
Chief
Just
is going to
right
make
there.
comments, but
Council, do you want to stand up, or?
Yeah, we can. Thank you.
All right, we'll let,
Can you get us in the way we are, because we didn't pull in?
yeah, I'm not sure yet. Y'all need to, I can't see Ben. Ben and David can come over and join.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. 1, 2, 3.
Smile.
I'm smiling.
Smile. Mayor, put your mask on. That's
I
bad.
pulled the mask down just
It's bad for TV. It's bad for TV.
It's already, we already got it recorded.
Chief,
Council, I do have a few comments. Number
if you
one,
would, please, thank you.
We are absolutely grateful that the American Legion does this for our fire department and our police department each year, as well as the EMS through the county, which they did that yesterday or will do. We are so thankful for that, but it was absolutely our privilege to be able to nominate Lieutenant James Greer for this award this year. And it's not really one thing that Lieutenant has done. Lieutenant is absolutely an integral part of our department. We've said many times that we pride ourselves on trying to be as most self-sufficient as we can. And it's because of personnel like him that we are able to do that. He has a background in electrical engineer, and we use him a lot for that saves our department and this city a lot of money. I hope and blessed that y'all have rode by headquarters sometime at night while the lights are on. All that bright light, Lieutenant Greer is the one that fed us that information, and he's also the one that installed that lighting that brightened up the headquarters station. When we was building Station 3, a lot of the machines that went in, all the electrical stuff, permanent for hose dryers, that was all Lieutenant Greer. And just like you said, he's not just done it for the city. He's been a firefighter since '98, starting with Hudson. He was a North Carolina Forest Service, so he's helped North Carolina, he's helped the county, and now he's helping the city. And like I said, after some personal conflicts, he joined the Marines to satisfy the dreams he had to fulfill his self-prophecy for that. And so he's helped this nation as well. And we are so thankful for the community. He helps his wife do softball coaching with 12U girls. So he not only mentors our future firemen, he's also mentoring some young ones. And I can personally speak on mentoring. I was in the pilot program for the college's Emergency Preparedness Technology program, and I was having a little trouble with math. Lieutenant's one that tutored me in my math and actually in my placement skills placed me higher than the class I actually needed. So it's all around for Lieutenant Greer, and we are thankful to have him at the fire department. We almost lost him to Charlotte, but we was able to hang on to him, and we are grateful that he is still here and grateful for the job that he does daily. So I'm glad that he's received this award. He is one of the ones most honored to get this and should get it, and we are just gracious to have him. And again, thank you, Commander, and for your service to our country as well.
Lieutenant, would you like to speak? You're welcome to.
Just want to thank the American Legion for this honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief, thank you guys, and thank Lieutenant Greer, thank you. I happened to know you when you were a lot younger and you played some ball in those days, and watched you grow up, and we're proud of what you have done and what you've accomplished in your life. Thank you for being a vital part of our city and part of our fire department, and all that you do. We really do appreciate it. Well deserved, and we thank you again. Appreciate you being here tonight. Chief, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, but we got another one to do, so thank you.
I don't believe you give your right age. Well, you know everybody from when they were born. I believe you lying somewhere.
I'm old, I told you that. Yeah, he played Little League.
Oh, yeah. And basketball. All those Greer boys.
Yeah.
I got to coach his brother, the youngest.
Is he Steve and those girls Greer? Steve
No,
Greer?
no, he's a different.
David?
He's from Collinsville.
Collinsville.
Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah.
West Caldwell.
He's got 4 brothers.
Gentlemen, we're glad to have you back again. Now we'll recognize our Police Officer of the Year. So
Yes.
welcome again.
So again, our post commander, Wayne Mihelich, is going to make the presentation to the chief, and the chief will make the presentation to Chris Maher.
Welcome, Chief.
Mayor, Council.
On behalf of the American Legion Post 29 here in Lenoir, it's our honor to present this for Chris Maher, to note him as the 2020 City of Lenoir Police Officer of the Year, presented by the American Legion Post 29. And we will also be putting his name forward, as we will with the firefighter, also to the department level, state level, and see how he works there.
Okay.
So, thank you very much.
Commander.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chris, step forward. On behalf of the American Legion, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Well deserved.
Thank you. Mayor and Council, real quickly, I just want to, every year when the Legion reaches out to us and we look at, we've got a building full of men and women that work really hard, and we're proud of all of them. At times it's tough to select one every year. This year we chose Chris Maher due to an event that occurred on June the 11th of 2019, last year. And I'll just read the write-up that was written by one of our lieutenants during a body camera review. Chris never came forward and told us anything about this event, but when the supervisor was reviewing body camera footage, he observed it and saw it and thought it was a great example of one of our officers going above and beyond. On June 11th, 2019, Chris responded to a call concerning a domestic disturbance involving an assault. He located the individuals in a vehicle, and the male subject was subsequently arrested. The female and her children were in the car with no gas, and they had no money. The female was crying and was telling her story to Chris. Chris told her to follow him to the gas station just up the road, and he would purchase her some gas so she could take the kids to daycare and to the doctor. He followed her there. He put gas in her car on his own, and we feel like this act, a lot of times officers do these types of things and they go unnoticed, but this was an example of him going above and beyond the call of duty in spending his money and buying this female gas in that time. And so the police department is honored and fortunate to have Officer Chris Maher on our team. His sympathetic concern for the citizens he encounters displays a positive reflection on our police department and our city as a whole. And so we're very honored. I get calls probably monthly. I know of 4 I've had in the last year where somebody has called and bragged on Officer Maher for his interactions, his professionalism, and I told him maybe within the last week that we were going to have to figure out how to get him to help teach some of our young guys some of that professionalism, and whatever he's doing is working. And so we are proud of him, and thank you for the honor.
Officer Maher, would you like to say anything? You're welcome to.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's get a picture up here, and we'll stand back here. Yeah, please do.
Right about here. Right there. We're right here. All right, my turn. Ready? One,
Everybody smile.
2, 3. Smile big.
Officer Maher, would you introduce your wife and daughter to us?
This is my wife, Kristen.
Kristen, welcome.
This is my daughter, Alba.
Hey, buddy.
And I would like to thank Kristen for her support too, because I know that there's no way that he'd be able to do the job that he needs to do each and every day to help out this community without your support, and especially having a young lady here with us too, because the reality is the family that makes this happen. So thank you very much also.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Commander and Irv, thank y'all for being with us again. We appreciate the program. It's a great honor. We're honored to be a part of that. Thank you for this is several years that we've done this, and we appreciate that you do.
Yes.
And we'll keep it up.
Thank you. We look forward to it. Okay, we'll move on to our agenda. We do not have matters scheduled for public hearing this evening, so we'll move to our consent agenda items, which consist of minutes of the City Council meeting of Tuesday, July 21st, 2020. Item B is an amendment to the Code of Ordinances. We held the public hearing on Tuesday, July 21st, 2020 to consider an amendment to the Code of Ordinances for traffic, Appendix B, Section 101.A. This is on-street parking only in designated spaces. Note a decision was deferred from our July 21st meeting because of we were meeting in a remote situation, and per remote meeting statutes, you have to wait a couple weeks before you can actually pass that. So this is now on our consent agenda. And item C is the FY 2019 tax collector settlement and the FY 2020 tax collection charge report. This is pursuant to North Carolina General Statutes 105-373, subsection A, subsection 1, subsection 3. Staff recommends approval of the FY 2019 tax collector settlement report and the FY 2020 tax collection charge as recommended by city staff. So those are your items on the consent agenda. I will open it up if there's any question, discussion, and then entertain a motion when you're ready.
Mr. Mayor.
Mayor.
Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept the consent agenda items A, B, and C as presented.
Councilmember Stevens makes a recommendation to approve items A, B, and C on the consent agenda as presented. There's no other discussion. I'll call for the question. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank you, sir. And that stands unanimously this evening, so we appreciate that. Okay, we'll move on then to requests and petitions of any citizens. I think tonight, Mr. Knupp.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have Mr. Rocky Knupp, who lives at 412 Swanson Drive in Lenoir, has requested to address the City Council regarding unified recycling within the city limits of Lenoir. Welcome, Mr. Knupp.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you all for your time and allowing me to present here. So today I'm wanting to speak about the recycling pickup proposal, unified, so that everybody, much like the new trash bins that we have, most or all residents would have something similar as well. Can I?
I think if you hit the space bar.
Okay, yeah, I just want to, okay. So we have some facts right here. I'm not going to bore you with reading those off, but these came from the EPA website and just shows you how important recycling really is and can be for everybody. I think that it's very beneficial for the community, has a lot of economical benefits, and obviously the environment first and foremost. So currently our recycling program in Lenoir, we're encouraged to go to the recycling center located on Penton Avenue for all the recycling needs, with the exception of household hazardous goods, such as your batteries, bulbs, such as that nature, special pickups necessary for that. And if the residents would like to have their own pickups at their house, they would need to contract through Simply Green and pay monthly or quarterly. So I think here's a few of the shortcomings of the current programs that we have is that most families and residents in this city are very busy. They have families, and that doesn't really allow them adequate time to drop off during the hours in which the recycling center has. Some residents don't have adequate transportation, so that limits the amount of people that are allowed to take it to these places and recycle effectively. And you can contract Simply Green, however, that's a extra cost, and as we all know, the cost of living is going up, and that is not very sustainable for most families around here. So I think the three shortcomings above here are kind of adding up to a greater problem, which is the indifference of recycling. Most people think, well, I can take it down the road, but I have a family to take care of, and I have a busy schedule, so it limits me. So most people are going to say, well, I have a small amount of recycling, so why don't I just throw it in the trash? And unfortunately, that's a widespread problem. One person says that and says, well, nobody else is doing it. However, that's probably a common problem throughout the city. So the environmental impact is that our landfills and the places in which we take our trash are going to be constantly overflowing with recyclables because of the lack of recycling sustainably in the city for the residents. And by being more and more recyclables in the landfills, we're not saving valuable energy and resources to provide factories and places around here for virgin materials, because they're using so many virgin materials, these plastics, glass, stuff of that nature, tin. And that would ultimately reduce our carbon emissions if we are able to possibly effectively recycle. And then also, I think that until we have a viable option where maybe it's free recycling or a taxed recycling program in which residents can take the recycling to the end of their road and have it picked up much like our trash, it's not going to go anywhere. So, you know, I think that our residents need to learn first and foremost how to reduce their amount of recycling, reuse their recycling, and then ultimately recycle. I'm not saying that recycling is our end-all be-all. However, we need to learn this cycle here that we have. So I think that is a very good point. So going green and pushing forward, I'm a former resident of Concord, North Carolina. And so I've seen the kind of a stepping stone in which they took. They had a third-party pickup with recycling. They were using little totes in which you would put out to the end of your road, and they would pick up on a weekly basis. However, that wasn't necessarily the most economical for the city and for the residents for taxation purposes. So they went to a bi-weekly, much like, well, they went to a bi-weekly, and that allowed for people to accumulate more recyclables and less need for trucks to come and pick them up in the first place. So they use a third party, like I had said, and maybe we could model after them. Maybe we could have something that's sustainable for our residents, taxation-wise, and could possibly give more jobs to people that are needing jobs in this city, recycling-wise. Much like the trash employees, the people who pick up our trash are employed by the city. So another chance for jobs and kind of going forward with a green option for the city. I understand that this would be a big option and a big thing to consider. However, I think that the next step forwards for both our environment, our community, and the economy around here are definitely going to benefit from this. Not only our generation, but further generations that come. And it's going to get us into this cycle of understanding that our environment is important. And with us not understanding this complete process, it's not going to be as viable for our later generations to thrive effectively. So I just want to thank you guys. I want to keep it short, but thank you all for listening to me and taking time out of your day. I thank you very much, and here's my contact information if you would like to see that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks,
we certainly
sir.
appreciate you coming to present this to us. I know that you have had some communication with our Public Works Director, Jared Wright, and been talking about this. And obviously, this is something the city has discussed and had at one time a number of things that we were looking at into that. So something we are always considering and looking at. So thank you. We'll take this under consideration and have more discussion about it. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you, everybody.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Good evening. If you would, when you come, just give us your name and address so that we can record it for our minutes, if you don't mind.
Okay, Jeffrey Bryant, 259 Sullivan Avenue, Hudson.
Thank you.
I'm the commander of the Sons of Confederate Veterans Camp here, Brigadier General James Johnston Pettigrew, Camp 1401.
Okay.
And we're concerned. We've heard things about our monument. We're very concerned about it with all the monuments that's been unfortunately taken down and defamed. And we're just, like to voice our opinion on it and let you know that it was put up to honor the young men that went to war. When they were barely young enough to leave town, some 1,100 to 1,500 young men, many of which didn't come back, or when they come back they were maimed, lost arms, legs, eyes, what have you. And that monument was placed to honor their memory. My great-great-grandfather, he was lucky enough to come back from the war. And he helped Major Harper, I'm sure everybody knows who GWF Harper is, helped him place the the time capsule in the original base of the monument. And the monument's been there since June 3rd, 1910, and 110 years. I haven't looked at it as anything other than to honor those young men. And I've read a lot of the letters. These young men just suffered terribly. I mean, whether it was from actual battlefield wounds, which were horrific, or the diseases that they had. It was just when they were in camp, the diseases spread like wildfire, and they died from it. My great-great-grandfather's cousin actually died in Raleigh in 1862 from a disease. And these men went through some of the most horrible things that you can possibly imagine. If you've seen the photos of men laying on the battlefield blown in half by cannonballs, that's lost their arms, legs, what have you, just mangled. And I consider those men that went to war nothing more than the heroes. They didn't want to go. No war's good. This one was more tragic because it was Americans against Americans. And just 620-some thousand died, most from disease, others from these horrific wounds. And we just honor those for what they did on the battlefield when they were called to go serve their country. They did that. Just like anyone from Vietnam, World War II, World War I, it's just no different. And the monument for those men are up. Then, it's my opinion that this one should remain. Just as how important it is to the history of Lenoir and Caldwell County. I mean, there's bad things about the war that should have never happened, I agree. And, but to take the monuments down and try to erase history is just not right. I mean, you're kind of erasing those very people that died for, defending our homeland. They were just trying to defend their homeland. It's kind of just like erasing them from existence, like they'd never been born. And I think that's pretty much the gist of what I got to say.
Okay.
And I appreciate you taking time to listen to me.
Thank you very much. We
Well,
appreciate
thank you.
you being with us this evening.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Thank you all.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Is that it? Okay, thank you. All right, that was for a request and petition of any citizens, and we have heard those. I don't think there's anyone online that would, or on the Zoom that would have any comments to make. Okay, we'll move on then to, we do not have reports of our boards and commissions this evening, so we'll move on to the report and recommendations of our city manager, Mr. Hildebrand.
Mr. Mayor, Council, you have tonight just a couple items for information. The City County Services Committee will conduct an electronic meeting on Monday, August 10th at noon. The Caldwell County Economic Development Commission will conduct an electronic meeting on Tuesday, August 11th at 8 a.m. The Lenoir Business Advisory Board will conduct an electronic meeting on Thursday, August 13th at 6 p.m. And the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board will conduct an electronic meeting on Monday, August 17th at 6 p.m. And that's the meetings I have so far to date for your information. Tonight, there's two items for your consideration. One's a street naming. This is off Jacob Lane. Staff recommends 4 private streets located off Jacob Lane. Previously approved expansion of R&D Manufactured Home Park. The 4 suggested names are Harrow Lane, Haystack Lane, Plow Lane, and Furrow Lane. These street names proposed for the park have been verified by the planning department, and they seem to meet all the conventions of the street naming process we have.
Okay.
And I think Ms. Wheelock is on the call as well, and her department has processed this application.
Okay. And any discussion or questions from anybody on the council here, or any questions of Jenny or Wheelock, our planning director? Okay, you've heard the recommendation then that we, and we can do that tonight. Yeah. The staff is recommending that these 4 private streets located off of Jacob Lane for the previously approved expansion of R&D Manufactured Home Park be named as follows: Harrow Lane, Haystack Lane, Plow Lane, and Furrow Lane as presented. And I will ask if there's no other discussion from the council, I'll call for a question on that and a motion.
I make a motion, we approve as presented.
We have a motion from Councilmember Willis that we approve the street naming as presented for these 4 streets. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Thank you.
He's on the high side.
That was an aye, not opposed. I didn't give you enough time, did I? Sorry.
Well, it's going to travel a long way before you hear Charles.
I know it. I'll give you a few minutes next time. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Hildebrand.
The next item is asking council to call for a public hearing on Tuesday, August 18th to consider the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 12-1, designation of nuisances. And this is regarding the raccoons and other disease vector species. Basically, the proposed changes will expand on existing nuisance declarations in the code and also clarify the intent of the ordinance to apply to all nuisance species, including rabies vector species. Now all you're doing is call for public hearing for the next meeting.
We're just calling for public, okay. All right, is there any questions about the presentation there of this at this point in time? Basically, we're just calling for a public hearing.
Is this for the whole city or this one particular resident that?
Whole city.
Whole city.
Yeah. All right, then we need a motion to call for a public hearing on this. That would be at the August 18th meeting to be considered.
I'd like to make a motion that we call for public hearing to consider this amendment.
Okay, I have a motion from Councilmember Perkins to call for the public hearing to be presented on Tuesday, August 18th concerning the city's Code of Ordinances, Chapter 12-1, designation of nuisances. No other discussion. I'll call for the question. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
And all opposed. Thank you. Carries unanimously. Appreciate that. Anything else, Mr.?
That's all I have.
Okay. We'll move on then to a report and recommendations of our city attorney. Mr. Rohr, anything?
No, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, we will move then to reports and recommendations from the mayor's office. And I do have some appointments and reappointments to present to you tonight that I would like to bring up. The first will be the reappointments to these certain boards that these have already been serving and would like to continue their service and have all done a great job. For the Lenoir Business Advisory Board, Mr. Patrick Longano. Patrick's done a great job of being a part of that. To the Planning Board and the Board of Adjustments, Lucy McCarl. Lucy is the chairman of the Planning Board and does a great job and also serves, as you know, the Planning Board also serves as representatives to the Board of Adjustments, so they are appointed to both of those. On the Lenoir Housing Authority, Reverend Charlie Rivens is a reappointment to that. And we do have a couple coming off of those boards. Mr. Richard Hedrick will be retiring off the planning board. Richard has served well over 20 years on our planning board. He's been a great member. We will miss him, but we will obviously want to do something special for him and when we can, and we'll work on that. But Richard decided it's time now to step down and spend some time maybe with Dot. He better anyway, or he'd be in trouble. And then Mr. Ron Smith is retiring off of the Lenoir Housing Authority Board. Ron has been the chairman of that board, and he will be stepping down away from that. And then I have a couple of new board appointments that I'd like for you to consider as we move into that. For the planning board, it's not Kent, it's Kent Greer. Kent is a businessman here in Lenoir and past president of the Caldwell Rotary Club, very active in the community, and he has submitted it. He would like to be a part of our planning board. To the Lenoir Business Advisory Board, I have two I would like to recommend. Mr. Darren McKinney. Darren is the owner of the Shakin' Dog in downtown Lenoir, one of our local establishments in business, and Darren is very involved in our community. And Mr. Gonzalo Vasquez. Gonzalo is the owner of the Tumbleweeds Steakhouse out on off of 321, former owner of the Dos Amigos and several other restaurants. But Gonzalo has had a really great interest and would like to consider him for our Business Advisory Board. And to the Lenoir Housing Authority, Mr. John Francis. John is the Executive Director of the Helping Hands Clinic here in Lenoir does a great job with that, and John, this kind of really fits in place with a lot of things that they already do. So I'd like to make that recommendation to you tonight. All these would be presented for your consideration, and we would vote on those at our August 18th meeting. So I'll present that to you tonight. Thank you for your consideration of this at this time. So, and also, I'll bring this up, report and recommendations of any of our council members. Anyone have anything? Mr. Willis?
Yeah, real quick, just wanted to thank the mayor for showing up today. We had the Education Foundation hosted Charter Communications. We put an invite out to all of our local internet providers about they offer services to free and reduced lunch kids, households in the city of Lenoir and throughout Caldwell County, and we wanted to highlight that. So they had an event, and they came. We invited all the providers to come, and they kind of took the bulls by the horn and ran with it and gave away some free gifts in conjunction with the food giveaways they do with the families through the school system. They did it at Valmead School today, so I really appreciate that. We had Senator Daniel's wife come, some school board's member as well. Mm-hmm. So really appreciate that, and wanted just to let people know that with school coming up and getting ready to get started, the City of Lenoir has been a big advocate of promoting internet and connectivity throughout. Our downtown has got Wi-Fi, our public recs services have the Wi-Fi. The school system and the Ed Foundation have provided the buses around. That's a hot topic, a big issue, and just wanted to let everybody know how proud I am of the city for kind of stepping up and being a part of that, and thank you for being there.
We're more than welcome, and thank you for the partnership that we have, not only with our school system, but with your organization that you're involved with. And I know you guys are doing a great job. I know everybody's trying to figure out this process right now, and as I was out there today, a lot of families were coming through.
Oh, yeah.
getting food, and it's great to see that. I know a lot of these kids, that's the only way they're fed, and so anyway, I know school's going to be tough this year, but hopefully all our people will figure it out and do what is the best situation for everyone and keep everyone safe. So, and we will be praying for that. I can tell you that very much. So.
Patience. Everybody just needs to be patient.
Yeah, very much. Any other council members have anything that they'd like to bring before us tonight? If not, I think we stand adjourned.